about that time, boys. So today I want to talk about a game that, it was like, I don't know, it was a game I played back then when I was younger. Not really necessarily that much when I was older, because me nowadays, like what games I like to play are pretty much kind of what I enjoyed in the past, like in terms of like Mario and Sonic and stuff, so I kind of just keep it there. So I don't really like play much Dragon Ball Z games anymore, or for the most part anyway. Right? But I remember I used to really love the Budokai games. I had never really got to play the Budokai 1 or Budokai 3 or Budokai 2 like on the console, but I remember, me and Louis both never got to play those as kids. Excuse me. So when me and Louis finally got to play, got a PSP emulator whipped up, and we finally played like the Budokai games, we kind of got the idea of the Budokai gameplay from, watching other people, but we also got the idea of the gameplay for Shin Budokai, like the Shin Budokai game series, the PSP versions of Budokai, if you will. And I remember back then I loved, and I would arguably I still love the character select music from the game and whatnot, and actually like some of the OST and stuff. But there's a lot of things when I replayed this game pretty recently, like around this year or something, that I really don't really necessarily agree with anymore. Like for example, like the story mode for Shin Budokai. I remember like I was playing Shin Budokai because I'm gonna talk about like nowadays, because I booted. Okay, let me restart. I booted it up back like maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. I actually kind of already forgot the time frame I did it, but I whipped it up and I played it for the first time in like years. Okay, and I remembered that I didn't like how like the controls worked, and since this kind of reminded me of that Naruto game, I really didn't really care much for it, and I don't know. I just kind of kept playing it for the video's sake, I kept playing it because of that, and I remember like I did a little bit of the story mode, which I found out Shin Budokai's story from Lubid and witnessing it myself that that's a completely different story mode, bro. It isn't like no simple, basic story mode. This story mode for Shin Budokai Another Road was like, you have to stop villains from Dragon Ball, basically your future Trunks, and you have to stop villains from in his timeline from destroying cities, and you're under certain time limits and certain restrictions. And then you also have, when you enter battles with them in the story mode, you have certain restrictions, like, for example, beat Deborah in 1 minute, or beat Deborah in 2 minutes to unlock the bad ending, or like just beat it normally to get the bad ending, or beat it in certain conditions to get the good ending. And like, with all honesty, like I whipped up this mode, thinking, by the way, 24 people in here, that is nuts. Helen Vales, hello. Glitch Parker Official XD, hey bro, how you doing, bro? Just talking about Dragon Ball Shin Budokai Another Road. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, I don't know if it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai, but it's Dragon Ball Budokai, Dragon Ball Shin Budokai, not Budokai, but Shin Budokai Another Road. Right? That's the most gay-ass room I've ever seen. Cool. Wonder what your room looks like. Probably full of other things. But but Dragon Ball is cool. I mean, a lot of people think Dragon Ball is cool. I mean, shit, dude. I think people from all aspects would like Dragon Ball. But anyways, back to what I was saying, right? So I found out the story mode was based around all these things, and you guys know me with timers and time limits and other things. I really dislike time limits. I really dislike things that the game did. I also have a gameplay up if you guys want to check that out. But I remember I really hated so many things in the story mode, or disliked. I'm going to try to use disliked a little bit more than hate, because I use hate a lot in my videos, I realize. But Yeah, I really disliked that, and I kind of felt awkward about it. So like, I kind of left the story mode, kind of thinking, man, Louis really did some hard ass shit when he was younger, because this story mode is kind of BS. I'm not even gonna lie. Just experiencing it, every single battle in that story mode, keep in mind, has a time limit, and you have to beat every fighter in that story mode under certain conditions to actually progress through the game itself. And not just be able to play. That makes me feel like, man, modern day gaming is pretty nice sometimes, where you can just play the game beginning, middle to end. You know what I mean? Same with some older games from the same generation or even before it, but you get my point. But anyways, story mode aside, I left the story mode and went for arcade, and this is where the fun sort of happened, sort of began. Because I remember when I went to arcade mode and I, reached that character select where you hear this beast music that doom 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 and then I heard that really good music. That was like the highlight of Shin Budokai, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was the freaking music for the character select. I loved it so much, right? So I think I picked Goku, and since I didn't beat the story mode and I didn't unlock everyone's transformations and stuff, I only had like base Goku, while the AI and CPU in the arcade mode could transform. And arcade mode can basically explain itself. It's basically where you play that character's little rando story freaking beat thing. And what is it? I played Goku and I decided to I just decided to just play, give it a play, and I was like whooping different characters' asses all day, like Goku, like Vegeta, Trunks. The Trunks was giving me a hard time. I think I even tried playing like Majin Buu, and that didn't work out well. And to be honest, I don't think I really I don't think I really enjoy Shin Budokai as much as I once did, to be real, because of like I said, I don't really enjoy the controls of the game. I do enjoy the music. Obviously, I enjoy the characters and the story. The story, well, I don't enjoy like actually playing it, but I do enjoy like the idea of the story mode being more focused on future Trunks, because not a lot of Dragon Ball games like to do, a lot of Dragon Ball games, especially back in the day, they would always do Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga to Majin Buu. At least with this story mode in the beginning, they start out with the Buu Saga right out the gate with future Trunks, dealing with the Buu Saga incidents and whatnot, and yada, 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 right? But, yeah, after that stream, I remember I just kind of was a little sad, because this is like an instance of where older me really doesn't really fuck with what younger me really kind of liked back in the day. Because I realized as well, like, I'm not as tolerant of things I really don't like. Wow, I know it took me till 2025 to realize this stuff, but yeah, it's like, but God, I'm sorry, I'm getting so perplexed right now in my head. It's just me remembering all this, since it was forever ago. It feels like I'm just reminiscing a little bit of the old days of when I used to play, and I remember I recorded it and I loved it, and I was like going through arcade, just having the transformations, going Super Saiyan 1, going Super Saiyan 2, and just enjoying my time with the PSP games, just to find out later in my life that I enjoy other things more than it. And for those that do love like Shin Budokai Another Road, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a bad game. It's more of a game that just isn't for me. And I don't know, after this, I probably won't play like Budokai 1 or Budokai 3, because I did buy my brother the Budokai HD collection, which that was a great game. Well, it was $45. It was not cheap, but I managed to do it, and for his Christmas/birthday gift, gave him Budokai 1 to 3, which is great, and he enjoys it. But dude, what the? You already beat Goku's story? Okay, dude.
Goku. My next one
Yeah, this guy is all over Budokai 3, man.
I'm taking my time with this.
Louis like, okay, this is the only Budokai video he's gonna make, so let me interrupt that with his energy, bro. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it for my experience with Dragon Ball Shin Budokai Another Road. like it definitely changed. It changed. It used to be like I'm gonna play it. I loved it as a kid. I love the music. I still love the music as a grown man today. 23 year old. Going to be 23 here very soon. Year old motherfucker, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be awesome. My birthday's gonna be awesome. But I know I'm getting very sidetracked because I just experienced some shit that I might talk about in the future, just a little bit ago. And yeah. Um but yeah, Shin Budokai on the road, it's pretty alright. It's not the worst game on the planet. Would I recommend it if you're looking for a Dragon Ball PSP game? I recommend it. I'd recommend it to you if you could get down with the controls and the style, because it's more of a 2D fighter than a 3D fighting Dragon Ball game. So if you like games like I wouldn't say it's exactly Street Fighter, but you do have to do certain inputs, like input. It's like an inputty like game, so it's kind of like that in that regard. But I would recommend it. It's not a bad game, but it's definitely a difficult one indeed. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I know this was small, but just I'm gonna talk about it for a little bit, you know?